Hello, welcome to Secure Talk, your trusted source of information on the latest threats, trends, tools, and technology related to cybersecurity and compliance. Join our hosts as they discuss a wide range of topics and speak with leading cybersecurity, technology, and compliance experts. Now is the time for Secure Talk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Secure Talk. Secure Talk is brought to you by AdeQuest, your cybersecurity and compliance partner. My name is Mark Schreiner, and I am your host for this edition of Secure Talk. Today, we have a guest joining our show. We have Mr. Dan Leiter. Dan is a technical recruiter in the security space, and we're going to talk to Dan about job opportunities, job preparation, career changes, all that kind of information related to the cybersecurity industry. But first, Dan, how are you today?
Hey, great, Mark. How are you doing? Thanks for inviting me on.
Pretty good, Dan. Hey, it's a kind of a sunny day today. I mean, relatively speaking, not a bad day here in Seattle, right?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Exactly. After a long winter, I was having doubts this winter after moving back into the area. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how bad the weather is. And then just this last week, I find myself driving around town going, this is not the same city that I spent the winter in, because when the sun is out, it is so amazingly beautiful here.
Absolutely. We got a lot of water too. I was just up at Snoqualmie Falls eating breakfast this morning and just seeing all the water coming down the falls. It's like, yeah, it's a good place to be.
Absolutely. Very impressive up there. So Dan, before we get started, could you take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about your background and then your how you made the movement into the cybersecurity space?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So I've got kind of a unique background, Mark. I spent several years doing work as a missionary in the Philippines and Taiwan, and came back, as I gained a family over there, and as a single guy, didn't have a lot of responsibilities, but I needed to come back and get a job where I could provide a great income for my family. So I got in, IT recruiting, and I just found a passion for information security and in the work to, secure up, because security people are great to work with. They understand how to talk to technical people. They understand how to talk to people like myself that aren't so technical, and just founded a great, group of people to work with and, help to advance careers and present great opportunity in information security.
That's awesome. What does the job market look like here in the Northwest right now for cybersecurity professionals?
Well, as you can imagine, Mark, the unemployment rate is actually at a negative level. There's more positions than actual people that are qualified. So you have a lot of companies going outside the box and, bringing on interns and, that kind of thing. And I think it provides kind of a gap in knowledge, because, there's internships are great and provide that, platform into enterprise organization, but, really need that depth of experience. And so we don't see a ton of entry-level security roles. Most security roles kind of evolve into those roles from, years of experience working within IT. But yeah, just a great demand for talent. And
it must be kind of challenging then for you. I mean, if the job market is so strong and it sounds like there's a shortage of applicants, so what do companies do to attract talent?
Well, I think a lot of companies are still kind of in the old mold of, job boards, postings, that kind of things. And so thus, a company like TEKsystems come in, who I work for, and really has a stronger recruiting force, if you would. I mean, we have 70 local recruiters that recruit in all spaces, not just information security. And so I think that's, kind of extending their recruiting arm. I think a lot of technology companies are also working with local universities and getting talent as they kind of come out of school and, open up internships. I know there's a big demand for a lot of companies to hire our veterans, so working with local installations with service members coming out of an IT background and in the military, and helping them get the skills to migrate into the enterprise environment.
Well, for those people who don't really have a security background but do have some IT experience, what are the key things that recruiters or companies that are hiring, what are they looking for? Let's just say, okay, you don't have a super impressive security related resume, but you do have some experience. What are they looking at? They look at programming experience. Are they looking at development or networking? I mean, what kind of experience is critical?
Well, I think, yeah, a strong background in networking. If you're going more the application security side, strong background in programming and application development. And it's tough, I think, to train people up in security without that knowledge of, those critical infrastructures, those applications, because they kind of have to have an understanding. But I've also seen companies hire with individuals that have a strong educational background. So it just kind of depends on how much investment companies want to make in training individuals up.
Okay, so let's look at this at from a couple perspectives. Let's say I'm a college graduate, maybe I've got a computer science degree, something similar to that, but I have a passion for security. How do I go out into the job market and differentiate myself, knowing the fact that I really don't have any real world security experience? What would you recommend?
I think the number one thing that you would need to do is network. 76% of jobs are found through networking. And, you kind of, not saying that, job postings, job boards don't have their place, but sometimes you submit your resume into a job board and it goes into this deep, dark hole. And I think the best remedy is just getting out there, getting to know, security community, and basically, selling yourself and your passion for information security, because I think, passion is key to landing a job. And if employers can, feel that passion, they're going to want to, take the time to invest to train that person up. I believe.
And what are some good organizations to go to for that networking experience? I mean,
Local, sure, yeah. Locally, ISSA is a great one. The CSA, the Cloud Security Alliance. There's another one called CSEC East. So if individuals go out there to meetup.com and just do a general search for information security, I know there's quite a few of them, both meeting on the east side and then in downtown Seattle.
excellent. That's really good advice. What about mid-career professionals who? Let's look at this from a couple angles as well. Let's look at one professional that has both the IT and the security experience, but they want to make themselves more marketable. Is there any credentials that you would recommend, or would it be the same? Just go out and expand your network.
Yeah, I think that knowledge is huge, and companies want to see that you're growing in your career, gaining additional knowledge. So definitely, certifications are relevant to a lot of employers. CISSP, most of the companies that I work with, they at least want to talk with somebody that has a CISSP that's done their due diligence to get that work done. Some managers, certifications aren't that big of a deal, but most are, that kind of stands out to them. Someone that they want to talk with.
Okay. And what about somebody who is maybe a mid-career professional and they want to move into the security space? Maybe they don't really have that much of an IT background, but this is something that they're passionate about. They believe, they have the interest. They also believe that the future potential's there, and they want to get trained up. What would your recommendation? Would it be to go work for a smaller organization, or would it be to get, an advanced degree, credentials, networking, all of the above? What would you suggest?
Yeah, that's a great question. The question I get a lot. I would still say, networking is a great way, to meet people in information security. Also, I've run into the fact where a lot of security positions have kind of evolved. So someone has, an interest in information security, say they're application developer, and I would encourage that person to, look for opportunities where they can work with security teams and learn with information security professionals. And a lot of time these roles kind of evolve into security roles when you have that passion for security.
That's some really good advice. And I see that as well in some of the companies that we work with. Usually their local in-house subject matter experts have been asked or have volunteered to take on a new responsibility. So, for example, maybe they're implementing an MFA or some type of conditional access, and they need somebody to take ownership of that. And somebody raises their hand, they acquire the knowledge, do that, and then they become the in-house expert. And then that kind of expands into other related areas to security. So I think what you're saying totally makes sense. Let me ask you, in terms of specific job titles, what are the hottest or most sought after type of positions in the market right now?
I would say, your DevSecOps is a growing, title out there that we're seeing, and there's really not a lot of people that I'm running into that come from a development background. A lot of people coming from a development background are getting into security, but more and more enterprise companies, mid-sized companies, even small companies, are seeing the need to have security throughout the software development life cycle. Yeah, I say DevSecOps is a skill that we see a lot of. Also, your security architects. Companies are bringing a lot of like the consultants that are working with the technology groups, wanting to partner with them hand in hand and kind of assess and consult and secure up the infrastructure and harden security from a technology standpoint.
Okay. And what kind of information can you share with us in terms of, salaries or the market, the going rate in the market right now for entry level, mid-career professionals and your more senior executives? What can you tell us?
That's a great question. So it, of course, varies, with the customers that we work with. But I would say, entry level security position, and we see a lot of contract to hire position in security, not a ton of, direct placement. But if I'm, speaking from my perspective, hourly basis, entry level security, 30, maybe $40 an hour. Your mid-level, we're talking about your mid-level like security engineer, you're looking more at 45 to $55 an hour. And then your more experienced folks, your senior security engineers, your security architects, anywhere up from 60 on up to $100+ an hour based on the technology that they have experience in. A lot of roles with like cloud security, demand a high price for that skill set these days, and also your AppSec engineers, architects as well.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And tell me if you have any stories related to companies that have created innovative programs to recruit and retain qualified security people. Because you mentioned that the job market is super, super competitive. So what are companies doing to draw in key talent?
Well, I think that a lot of companies that I've seen have success, they're really getting these security people right out of college, and they're giving them opportunities to do internships. There's a lot of great programs that local universities are offering these days. Also, with our veteran community, working with some of the local installations, some of the local units, IT units, cyber units, networking with these types of groups. And then also, I would say realizing that internal recruiting power needs a little bit of lift, and working with companies like TEKsystems to really expand their reach, because we've been in business over 30 years, and we've networked with a lot of great cyber professionals, and so realizing that, hey, we need some help here.
That's excellent. Okay. And, speaking about TEKsystems and the job that you do, what are some of the differentiators with TEKsystems and how you personally operate as a recruiter?
Sure. No, great question. I know a lot of people just maybe try it and a lot of people say this, but I think relationships is key. We really value, people, and one thing I love about my job is get to see people advance in their career is extremely satisfying, and I think that the people that we work with are a differentiator. We want to make sure we're getting the most qualified individuals for positions, but really our clients like to work with us because we know that we care about the people we're putting to work. We meet with them on a regular basis. We shut down operations one day a month just to reach out to all of our workforce and make sure that they're getting all the resource that they need. And that's about 150,000 consultants nationwide. And we really kind of put our money where our mouth is when it comes to relationships.
Well, and I can testify to that. I mean, I've known you for about a half year now through the ISSA. You show up, you're a regular contributor. You're a nice person. You're very accessible. Talk to everybody. Obviously, you value friends and family, and I'm sure that makes you perform very well in your job. Because I think we've all dealt with recruiters from different aspects. I've been on both sides of it, where I've had recruiters work with me. I've been recruited. And I think, like you said, some people really value relationships, and some people just want to place a candidate and get that commission, right?
Right.
And the best ones that I've worked with have really, really gone the extra mile to ensure that they get the right candidate and help that candidate kind of help coach them, prepare them for the job, and then touch base with them from time to time to make sure that they have everything they need. And I get the sense from my friendship with you, but also just through our conversations that's important to you as well. And I'm sure it serves you and your clients well.
I appreciate that, Mark.
Yeah. And let me ask you, do you have in terms of clients that you work with, can you give us an idea of the types of organizations? I mean, you don't have to give names if you want, but in terms of the industries that they're in, the sizes, what can you tell us?
Well, primarily we work with enterprise to mid-level organizations in the telecom space, in the retail space, and the software space. Pretty much every vertical under the sun, we support. It's not specific to industry. It's more specific to our local area, and if our clients need additional support in resourcing and also in IT services, then we have that available.
And I know, you're based here in Seattle, but do you recruit for positions outside the area as well, or do you focus pretty much on the Northwest?
We focus pretty much on the Northwest, but a lot of times if we have, information security professionals looking for other opportunities, we've got over 100 offices nationwide. So we, have at our disposal, other offices that we can introduce individuals to, and they can have eyes on positions in their local market.
Excellent. And here in the Northwest, outside of the Seattle, Bellevue, Redmond area, do you see any movements in areas like Portland or Boise or Vancouver, British Columbia?
Yeah, no, we definitely do see a huge growth as well in Seattle and Portland and in Boise, and I think that IT and information security is expanding to places that previously there wasn't a huge hub there. So the Northwest is definitely not just Seattle, but we've got a lot of business, a lot of opportunities in Portland as well as Boise, and so I would say yes to your question.
Okay, great. Yeah, on the AdeQuest side, for example, we also do a fair amount of work in Portland and Boise as well. And in fact, this coming fall, we're probably going to be in both those locations almost on a 2 times a month basis. Because we have some events scheduled, but we also have client and prospect meetings as well. So, and we see a lot of growth in those areas. Well, last couple questions here. If I was a candidate or a client that was looking to recruit for some positions, how would I get in touch with you?
Oh, it's really easy. Ping me on LinkedIn. My information, email is all out there. So I normally get back to somebody within 24 hours, unless I'm, of course, out of the office. But I always have someone cover if there is somebody that has an urgent need that needs an immediate assistance. So
Great.
Yeah.
And then do you have any favorite go-to sources for, for the job market, understanding, what the dynamics are, what the trends are?
I don't per se. I mean, a lot of the information I get is at the local networking events, in regards to, blogs and that kind of thing. We have our own internal, kind of sources. But I would say the best information is actually through talking to the information security population. And I'm not technical, but I like to learn about the security trends. And who better to find that out from than the individuals that are on the front lines of cyber technologies.
Totally makes sense. And me also coming from a non-technical background can totally relate. But I take and learn a lot from organizations like the ISSA. I mean, the meetings are very supportive, and the information shared, I think, is helpful regardless of what level you're on in the security space.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I like to ask questions too. So at some of those networking, events, it provides a forum where you can kind of dialogue a little bit. It's not just a presentation, but it's really interactive, and I think that that's the best way that I learn.
Absolutely, I'm with you on that. Are you recruiting any positions right now that you'd want to kind of broadcast out?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've got about 6 openings, 6 security engineer roles open at a customer we're working for, kind of building up a team, cloud security, cloud platform security, container security, working to support, point of sale systems, billing projects. We've also got some application security positions open. And then we also have some entry-level security analyst roles working more on kind of the risk and compliance side of thing, which is, a great way to kind of enter into information security for someone, coming out of a school that's got some education in cyber.
Excellent. Sounds like you got your hands full. You're pretty busy.
Oh yeah, it keeps me busy. Days go by fast, so I like it, and get home to the family and enjoy them.
Excellent. I'm with you on that one as well. Well, hey, everybody, if you have any questions for Dan, as you mentioned, you can, as Dan mentioned, you can find him on LinkedIn. It's Dan, first name, of course, and the last name is Leiter. If you have any questions or if you're interested in any of those jobs that he just mentioned, please get a hold of him. Hey, Dan, it was really great having you on the show. Look forward to seeing you at upcoming ISSA meeting and coming back on the show someday.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, Mark. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dan. Take care.
Hello, welcome to Secure Talk, your trusted source of information on the latest threats, trends, tools, and technology related to cybersecurity and compliance. Join our hosts as they discuss a wide range of topics and speak with leading cybersecurity, technology, and compliance experts. Now is the time for Secure Talk.